Emma, guarda cosa ti dà Dadda. Era la bomboniera per gli italiani. Buona. Hai visto il microfono?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, today is a special day, isn't it, Emma?
Yes.
Because it is our third wedding
Anniversary
today.
Yeah. And it's the first one we're together.
Yeah, that's really special for us because the first wedding anniversary and the second wedding anniversary, I was offshore working miles away from Rossella. So this year we're together, aren't we? And we've got Emma with us as well. Yippee! So we're going to take a few hours away from boat work. We're going to go for a walk in Chatham.
Yeah, a bit of shopping and probably a Chinese takeaway.
Chinese takeaway, yummy, yummy.
Unfortunately, the Chinese where we wanted to go is closed, so we need to find something else.
In the end, we got our Oriental lunch. We have some noodles and rice under there, then some curry, and we've also got some spring rolls on the way. And because it's our anniversary, we've decided to treat ourselves to two ice creams from McDonald's. They're only £1.78, and not many people know that you can get an ice cream at such a good price from McDonald's. And Emma is going to get some too. Are you shopping? Are you doing some shopping? I've just bought some things from one of my favourite shops, Tool Station. They've got really good prices and they've got free drinks machines, so you can get a free brew while you're waiting. Not that you wait very long generally. When I say you don't wait very long, what I mean is I always get a brew even if there's no queue. It's free, why not? So this is Rossella's face, and Emma as well. Why are you pulling that face, Ro?
Well, it disappeared for a while and then it just came back with that. That's what I'm worried about.
Oh, this you mean?
That thing. And I want to know how we're going to put it in the car.
It's only 3 meters long. We can stick it. We can work. We're going to work a way out of getting it in the car. What, darling?
Non abbiamo la cima per fermarlo.
It's not going anywhere. Ready? Hi, it's Chris from Britaly.
Yeah, come on, Chris.
Thank you. Emma, we're nearly home now, darling. You get to bed very, very soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow, are you excited to eat your baby biscuit?
Mmm.
Well, back to our priority jobs list. Number 1, engine overhaul. And we have just received a parcel, or the marina received a parcel on our behalf. I've just collected it, and we now have the bits to enable us to put the engine back together. So that is going to be my next job. Here's the exhaust elbow. It's been without paint since we bought the boat, and the difference is now the holes on the inside of it are clear rather than being blocked. So that's cleaned out nicely with the acid, and while I was waiting for the engine parts to arrive, which was only a day or so, it corroded really quickly. So I've just given it another acid bath now and dried it with paper towels, and it looks a lot less rusty now than it did 20 minutes ago. I've been and bought some high temperature paint. This resists up to 650 degrees C. It's for kind of stoves and things like that. And apparently this can be applied without a primer. So I'm going to attempt to do that, and we will see if it lasts 5 minutes or 5 years if we're lucky. But it'll just look a little bit better black rather than rust colour. This sleeping bag is an old one that was on the boat when we bought it, and it's already been earmarked for the bin. So I'm going to use that to prevent overspray on the boat. I'm just cleaning up this distribution pipe now. I may have referred to it as copper at one point because initially it was a very different colour, but after being in the acid and now that I'm cleaning it up with some sandpaper, it's a kind of brass. Yeah, this is cleaning up nicely, and it will soon be ready to go back into the engine. There we go, clean as a whistle. Of course, I don't want any abrasive residue to go inside the engine, so I'm going to give this a really good rinse now, make sure it's very clean. I've cleaned out inside this hole as much as I could, and the distribution pipe is about to go back in. Just out of interest, if I put this back in the way it came out, then you can see the holes here on the distribution pipe do line up with the injectors, and therefore the injector sleeves. They're just above 90 degrees, these holes, so the water is squirted out sideways and upwards a little bit, and that will cool down the injector sleeves. I've got some new seals, so I'll fit a new seal to the end of that and then hammer this home. I'm now going to clean up these gasket areas, both on the exhaust elbow and the thermostat housing. And before I do that, I'm just going to be inserting some tissue paper in there so that no bits go into the inside of the engine. While I'm here doing this, I may as well remove the rocker cover so that I can check the valve clearances. I remember from our last engine that there are some spaces underneath these bolts which could be dropped into the engine, so I'm going to be very careful when I take the cover off. There we are. That's what I was talking about. One of these has stayed in position and the other two came out with the cover. So just be careful when you're doing that, because these can drop down there. I'm checking stroke adjusting the valve clearances from the manual. I'm not doing it from memory. So the instructions are there. When the engine is cold or warm, the valve clearances should be 0.30 millimeters. I would love to have a 16mm ring spanner, but I don't, so I'm going to have to use an adjustable spanner. And as I move this backwards and forwards, then you can see the the valves on this cylinder are rocking. So one's just starting to lift as the other one goes down. Then, as per the manual, we need to rotate this pulley 1 full revolution in the direction of the movement of the engine. So I've just stuck a little bit of tissue paper in a hole there, just to remind me where I am. So I want to do 1 full revolution from here. Interestingly, there's no decompression lever on this engine. Our previous engine was a 2-cylinder version of this engine, and there was a decompression lever which made this very easy. But on this engine, we don't have one, so you have to turn the engine against the resistance that you've got. So there we are, we're back to where we were, so that's 1 full revolution, and now I can check the valve clearances. So if we get our feeler gauges and test the gap, that's too big. .45. So we need to get that down to 0.30 millimeters, and to do that I'm going to use a ring spanner and a screwdriver. Back off that lock nut, and with that backed off you can rotate this wherever you like it. It's a bit too tight, I can't get the 0.30 in there now, so if I just back that off a touch. Okay, so you just want it so it just goes in, and then you hold the adjustment screw still and tighten down the lock nut. So that one's done, and now I'll just repeat that same process on this other valve. Then I'll have to rotate the engine again to get to the correct position for the other 2 cylinders and just do the same again. I've finished adjusting the valve clearances there, and I've tightened down all the lock nuts. And at this stage it is getting quite late, it's after 9 o'clock at night, so we are going to leave this video here. So if you would like to know how the rest of this job goes, then tune in for the next video.